Welcome to another episode of Ring Walk Boston Podcast. I am Bean, and today we have a special guest, the Chuurch,
Yes,
and
sir. Mhm.
we're gonna let him tell y'all where are you from originally.
Oh man, that's a plethora of different places all mixed up in one. I'm from Columbus, Ohio, via Williamson, West Virginia, via de La Vega, Dominican Republic.
Oh man, that's
hmm
what's up. That's what's up,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So he can kind of introduce himself to everybody.
Oh man,
Real down to earth dude right here.
yeah, been a boxing fan since 1976. First fight I ever seen was Kenny Norton versus Ali.
Okay,
Won.
okay,
And Ali versus Leon Spinks won as well.
okay.
And
Yeah, yeah.
you know, I've been enjoying a plethora of the sport since the very beginning of my eyes could see. I try to be impartial, very fair, and down the middle. Whether I like or dislike someone, I try to remember it ain't about what I like; it's about boxing. And there's
Man,
a plethora of different ways that we can enjoy boxing, whether we like it or not.
man, that's 100, man. That's solid, man. That's solid, man. So,
Yeah.
um, so just to get this kind of jumping, and for everybody out there on FB that follows fam and follow me or whatever, share this on your social media. Make sure you hit the like button as you enter this. Share it on your FB. I'm gonna share the link on my wall. You can share it to your page. Share it. Tag a cousin. Tag somebody. Like I said, when you at the gym, whether it's a boxing gym or just a gym to work out, let people know about Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. It'll be 3 year anniversary in May. So I've been
Yes,
grinding this
sir.
out for a while. And
hmm
hey, it's my passion, so I'm just pushing behind what I love.
Right there
But
with you.
well, yeah, it's like near and dear to
I,
me.
I
Yes,
like the
sir.
scope of how you're creating many different plethoras of avenues to get out the word and get out a different experience for what everybody is looking for. Because boxing ain't just getting in the ring; it's about educating yourself on the sweet science of the sport and the knowledge on how many different fighters find their own way of defeating their next opponent in order to go on.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So as far as the action we saw last night,
Yeah,
um,
let's talk about it.
yeah, yeah. Which one you want to talk about? Like what?
Oh
I mean,
man,
the
let's
whole card was really a very sturdy card. It was a good card.
we could start with I let's just talk about what was impressive. While I was checking it out yesterday there, Jaime Maguire was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Uh
yeah,
I
yeah.
I saw that style of fighting kind of in some aspects beat I hope I'm saying his name right. I don't want to butcher his name. Resonance
Resendez. Yep.
Resendez. I saw that
Mm,
style beating him before, but I saw him in the late rounds as we did come through and actually beat that fighter in the second half of the fight. And I kind of thought that that was what he was going to do on this one. But Jaime was ready to go. He was ready to go. Footwork, beautiful, beautiful placement of punches over and over. Never really stopped moving. Forgot about that machismo style and went in there and implemented the game plan perfectly. Uh, exceptional, exceptional performance. Was the best performance of his career against a very game tough challenge and a champion at that. And Resensi, he'll be back, but Jaime's going up from this. I don't know how up you can go when you fought a relentless, one-dimensional fighter, but for what you did and with that guy being the champion, supremely impressed with his the victory. Yeah, he's definitely that was a great performance.
yeah, man. He definitely I had mentioned before when I chopped it up with Mike earlier, is that it's like with Jaime Munguia, he definitely showed that he had the more experience. You know what I'm saying? He had quite a
Absolutely.
lot more fights or whatever than dude. And in a situation like that, you kind of got to show that. You just don't want to be in there and just be half cocked or whatever. Like
Yeah,
he really showed like the motions. He showed like the
very much
different.
so.
Yeah, he just controlled everything. It was beautiful boxing. It was a perfect pace,
Absolutely.
the rhythm, everything. It was just like really, really good. So as he starts to navigate and step up in opposition, I wish him well. You
And
know.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure his mindset is done went to the roof from this victory and claiming the championship. And it's I try to base when it comes to a person that's kind of more so one dimensional. I try not to get too overexcited with the victory because a one dimensional fighter isn't a complete fighter. And once we see
Mhm.
Jaime in there with a complete fighter, the performance we seen last night, we may not see, what I'm saying, in the future. But he's on his way. And right now it's great, great victory, man. Great, great victory. I was, like I said, I was impressed, man. I didn't know he had that footwork like that, that he could maintain. He's typically one of those fighters that kind of comes in, comes through, and kind of slows down as the fight goes. And I didn't see that fighter last night. I saw a fighter that was supremely confident, comfortable, breathing right, good ring generalship. You could tell he must have had a phenomenal training camp. And I think it kind of showed in the victory.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for everybody who's tapping in with us right now, hit that thumbs up as you enter. And if you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's free.
Mhm.
That's just a way to show your support. And for those who have already subscribed, I want to say thank you again. I'll say thank you every show if I need to because I really, really appreciate it. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did you think of last night's performance with Jaime?
oh man, I loved it, man. He just he set the rhythm, he set the tone, man. And that's what
Mhm.
it's about, man. That ring generalship, uh,
Absolutely.
and not getting too overzealous in certain instances because you could be ahead, you could even seemingly have an opponent on what you may think is hurt or whatever. You might
Right.
have the upper hand or whatever, and then before you know it, you just want to go into so many gears, and you're just trying to do all this, and then before you know
Hmm.
it, you done caught a counter punch, or you done made a mental mistake, and you done got caught with something you didn't expect. So I think when you like Jaime, you keep that mindset like, okay, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it for the moment. Let me just keep doing what I'm doing. Because
Absolutely.
if your opponent doesn't have a response or an answer or make an adjustment, then you're fine just doing what you do until he catches on to what you're doing. Then you kind of gotta, you know, do
Hey,
something else. Like, you know what I'm
ride that wagon until one of the wheels fall off, and
saying?
the
It
wheel
will.
never fell off. The wheel never fell off last
Never
night.
fell off,
And
man.
I didn't see Resens damn, I'm saying his name wrong again.
Resendez.
Resendez. I didn't see him flustered until after the ninth round. I seen a still confident fighter trying to give his all with whatever it is he brought to the table. And I just saw him fluster after the ninth round. It was kind of like, I got to do more than what I'm doing. And it was just, I felt a little too late. Jaime, somebody you got to kind of put them paws on early to let him know what type of fight he's going to be into. But if you're going to sit there and keep on coming one way in, you gave him a chance to just sit on his back foot and wait for you to come in. And he threw some beautiful sets that I truly believe would have knocked a lot of fighters out if they got hit the way that he got hit.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Um, yeah, man. So that was just the perfect fight to be like the co-main event right before
Yeah,
the
definitely.
main event, man. And the main event, um,
Yeah. New face
as
of
Mike
boxing. I'm
Tyson,
calling it out.
yeah, as
I'm
Mike
calling
Tyson
it
would
out.
call him, the Mexican monster.
Yeah, he was out there scaring the crowd with with that beautiful performance.
Oh my goodness,
David
man.
David was already complete. I didn't need to see this. I knew he was going to win. A lot of people have to understand who are really into the sport of boxing, not just watching the fights when they come about. He had been sparring with him, the same with Bivol. And I feel that the fight, I mean, I knew it was a easy victory. I just didn't think it was going to be to the point where he was this dominant and able to pose his will and stand on his foot and fight. He went where he wanted him to go when he did, and then he still stuck to the script of what he had to do. And I was thoroughly impressed. But I wasn't surprised. David has always had that in him. You just got to push him. You find a lot of announcers and some people in boxing, and they speak on what fighter are you going to run into that's going to push you to the limit to bring out the best in you. And when you fight the way Zerto fought against David, you're going to get that every time. And boxing was absolutely the wrong thing for him to do. When he was losing the fight in the third and fourth round with that one way coming in style, his trainer gave him some very bad advice on allowing him to keep coming, pressuring him in and trying to trade in the inside and not use that jab. And I was like, why isn't he using that jab to kind of give Davis something to think about when he's coming in hitting him with sets? By the time he started trying to change the implement of the plan, David's so comfortable. It's like ain't nothing you doing gonna work. But I thought it
Yeah,
was just gonna
yeah,
be a
man.
punishing. I thought it was gonna be a punishing unanimous decision. But Dave said nah.
Yeah, yeah,
Dave said nah.
yeah. He
Everything
tried.
went right for him last night, and it was a great show, great card,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
great positive announcers. I didn't have to put the TV on mute, and that say something for me. And like I said, it's refreshing to be able to watch these sport and to see a whole lot of different fights that we get to see, and beyond an announcer or what have you liking one opponent over the other. It's good to see them being impartial, unbiased, calling a fight down the line and giving it to the fans accurately, instead of just I don't like this guy here, so I'm going to say a little of this or nothing at all. And it was just a good show, and I guess PBC ain't bankrupt after all.
That's what's up. And let me say shout outs to the chat to my cousin, Sweet Jones. What's good, Cuzzo? Thanks for falling
Already.
through, man. Uh,
Yeah.
cousin Rico, Zone 15, Lincoln Heights. What's up, Cuzzo? Thanks for falling through. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. And if you see the link on my wall, just share it, man. Cause we going up. We going up. We
Yeah.
gonna start we
Believe
gonna
that.
start grilling. We gonna start grilling here. You know what I'm saying? We got the fire hot. Now we about to put
Yeah, we
some
we're gonna we're gonna
some
start
lamb
we're
on
gonna
it.
start having these shows in Las Vegas. So get ready to have us see us on the strip talking, giving back and forth questions to the fans after fights. Pretty soon you're gonna see ring walk post fighting, after fights, at the fight.
There you
Okay. Just
go,
the
man.
beginning. It's
Just the
just the
beginning,
beginning.
man. Just the beginning for sure. So, any other fight in particular on that card that you? Because it was like I said, it was some good stuff.
Uh
Oscar Duarte and
yeah, I
who
was
was
gonna
that?
get to that. I
Yeah,
thought Oscar lost myself. Oscar talked a lot of trash, and he let a fighter I felt beating. I felt he lost.
yeah. Angel
Yeah,
Ferrer.
I thought Angel did more than enough to beat
Yeah,
him. I thought
yeah,
he won by 3 rounds, but I knew the money was behind Oscar, and Oscar made sure Oscar won.
man. Hmm.
hmm You know, Oscar. He's a money maker, and I felt he was given a gift last night. And deep inside, I think he knows it because you seen the attitude after the last bell rang. He didn't look as pumped up as Angel did. And I think it was pretty revealing. But at the end of the day, it was a darn good fight. I think Oscar better stop being so cocky and arrogant and remember his craft and what brought him all this attention in the first place is boxing. Get back to what you do best in boxing.
For sure, man. What's going on, Smacky the Frog? Is that my guy Lucas? I think that's your
Mm.
guy right there, fam. Yeah. On the West
Yeah,
Coast, he's good.
yeah,
Got Cali in the house.
yeah, he's here. He's here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's here. That's my guy.
Um,
Yeah.
what about the Nayu Inoue and Nakatani?
Uh, you know, I thought it was a fairly good fight. The fight pretty much turned out the way I thought it would. I just think that in a way is just doing what he always does. He's getting the best out of these fighters in some aspects of what they're coming in there to try to do to him, and he's overcoming it and getting them victories. And hats off to him and kudos. I he's fought too many unknown fighters, I must admit, to me. In the division that he is in, the level step is very high and very low, and there's not a lot of in between in those divisions.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not his fault. That's his way, and that's what he's doing. And the key is whoever they put in that ring with you is you to take care of business, and that's what he's been doing. So for that, just hats off. I want to see him against Bam.
Yeah, yeah. They were talking about the Ben Rodriguez that potentially.
Bam. Hey, I want to say something else too. A lot of people want in a way to go get his head knocked off by Tank because they think the money's there. I'm trying to let a lot of people know that he only got to deal with Tank. Tank will take his head off, but it's somebody else that'll take his head off that they're probably going to either push under the rug or they're going to lift him up. And why don't we start talking and promoting a new fight of the future for this young kid out of New York named Mr. Shoo Shoo Carrington versus Inouye. I
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like the sound of that fight. What about you?
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Shoo nice man. I know some people get
Sheesh.
critical, just like they did with Abdullah Mason. When Abdullah Mason got dropped that fight, he got back up and won. He showed with Sam Noakes. He showed his grit when he fought over
Yeah.
there, and
My
they give
perspective is in new
Shoo.
shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
I mean,
perspective is in new school. So, in boxing, it's the hit and don't get hit game. But in the process of that, we all know that you're gonna get hit in the face, you're gonna bleed, you're gonna get bruised. This is boxing.
you're gonna
I'm
get
not
buzzed.
as Yeah, I'm not critical of a
Mhm.
guy getting, sometimes people get up and give their best to whoever it is that they're fighting. Whereas you might see them fighting some other lower caliber fighter, and you may not see the performance up to par to your eyes can see. But then when they fighting that great fighter or that Hall of Fame fighter or that particular fighter, you may get a performance in that maybe you didn't foresee that fighter had in them and what they brought to the table to get a victory. And for me, with that in mind, situations and things that take place in your life can bring about something in you today that maybe wasn't yesterday, all on the circumstances in the opponent. And that's how I kind of see it, as opposed to just guy getting hit and bruised or not giving a particular performance that we expected him to have. And now I'm going to downgrade everything that I already liked about him. When we both know he's a great talent that had an off night. No one's perfect.
No, nobody's perfect. Smacky, you said Shoo versus Inoue.
Hmm.
Actually, reasonable to happen. Davis versus Inoue is not, in my opinion. Too many weight classes up.
Absolutely. Not to mention, it's really just the media trying to pimp off Tank's name in order to bring more light to Inouye, knowing
Hmm.
the high it's highly unlikely that they'll fight each other. I
Exactly.
mean,
Yeah.
and,
Hmm.
and it's been an old trick that we all know it's been taking place forever. Uh, guys who aren't going to be up at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, getting ready to watch an Inoue fight for the most part. So we have to have other avenues in order to bring about light. So maybe you will tune in, or maybe you will save and look at it at the fight. Because his fan base is in Japan. And pretty much that's pretty much it. But Shushu is out there waiting for him. Bam, most definitely is so close. He might as well just go ahead and stop, bull jiving and go ahead and fight Bam, because Bam versus him is a feasible fight, a makeable fight, and I think a
Yeah.
fight a lot of us would be really pumped for.
The part four, yeah, for sure. It's gonna definitely do good
Definitely.
if they can,
Hmm.
get it and put it into fruition.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely,
it'll definitely
absolutely.
do good. Um,
I mean, there shouldn't be anything in the way. If you can make Stephen Fulton verse in a way, you can make Bam Rodriguez verse in a way.
great point. Great point.
You
Absolutely,
know,
man.
yeah, I think Shushu, he might not want to stay at that weight and might see or smell more money going up than staying there, so another guy can come up and fight him if that guy would even particularly fight him.
hmm So, man, we got quite a bit to talk about, man. And
Oh
I just
man,
like to,
it's so
yeah,
much, it's
so much,
so
man.
much that we done experienced over these last few weeks. It's time to go ahead and give them
Yeah,
a little bit, you know,
for sure,
you
man.
know, definitely. What do you think about the ladies and what have they been doing to build up
Okay.
nostalgia in your boxing? What's
Yeah.
particularly drawed your interest lately?
So, okay. So, shout out to my cousin Cam J, and shout outs to Ohio Runs Boxing, Marcus from Youngstown, Ohio.
Absolutely. Already.
He kind of made a good point. Marcus said this. Then Miss Jab Queen from New Jersey, she said something to the same extent. So basically, I couldn't argue this. So their point
Mm-hmm.
is this: I know Carolyn Dubois wants to smoke with Alicia Bumgarner. She's been vocal about it,
Absolutely.
so it ain't no mystery. I mean, it's in 4K. It's right in front of us. But here's
Mm-hmm.
the thing: as as Ohio Runs Boxing said, and Jab Queen and Cam J said, technically, I can't say, or just in general, we can't say that Alicia is ducking her because she's not even in her same weight class. She's
Mm-hmm.
at 130. Dubois is at 135.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't necessarily like the way that Alicia Bumgarner responded in regards,
Mm-hmm.
to what was said to her. I think she could have
Right.
said it a lot differently. Like things like
Absolutely.
Cam J said. Most likely at some point y'all gonna end up meeting up. Now I understand you at 130. You're trying to clear it up down there, and
Mm-hmm.
you want Carolyn to focus on 135 and clear out the ladies like the Turkish fighter, Elif
Mm-hmm.
Turhan or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and then you want to probably fight Amanda Serrano yourself if you're
Mm-hmm.
Alicia or
Which ain't
whatever.
never gonna happen.
Right, which probably won't
But
happen, but maybe,
we'll get to it. We'll
maybe
get
Katie
to it.
Taylor, maybe Katie Taylor.
No.
But maybe not. But I'm
See
saying,
those no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, you good, you good, yeah. Cause I see you
Nah.
got something to say about it. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
So,
we gotta live in reality. It might some of the stuff that Alicia's saying holds water, and the only thing that holds water is that you're 130 and she's 135. But at the end of the day, women's boxing isn't something where there's fighter after fighter and division after division, where you have a plethora or high caliber fights that are people are ravaging to try to tune in and watch. Especially we must understand in women's boxing. It's not some blown off the mill where everybody's just excited about this and excited about that. No, we have a few stars, a few appealing fighters, and then a lot of up and coming fighters. And the appealing stars, we can't keep watching you fight unknown fighters, talking about a fighter that's actually a champion is not ready, but a fighter that's a mediocre contender that has lost against every top fighter that she's fought when it's come time to fight one. She's deserving of that, but the one that's a champion, mm-mm. But more so, my point to that is you're willing to go up to 154 and 147 to fight Clarissa Shields, but you won't go up 5 pounds to fight Caroline Dubois.
right,
And
right,
then with
right.
that alone, and
hmm
I thought Carolyn's last interview that she gave was magnificent. She hit on every area, every angle, and every possibility of what Alicia could do in this matchup. And I think she pretty much took the words right out of my mouth. There's no one for you to fight. I'm not going to get into why, but we all know Amanda Serrano is not fighting. Let's just end it at that. I ain't gotta say why. It's two reasons why, but I ain't gonna say one of them. But she ain't fighting you. She's been in a war. She got her millions, and she's about to go, and she's not gonna end it fighting you. Sorry. Katie Taylor will fight Caroline Dubois before she'll ever fight you, Alicia Baumgartner. You heard me say it here first. Katie Taylor will fight Carolyn Dubois before she would ever fight you because she know that girl got a whole country and she's comfortable in her country and she's not far from her country and it'll make more sense dollar wise draw wise and et cetera for the Irish fans as well as the British fans. So I mean, this is just common sense, and I know people's they're going off of who they like and not off of the intelligence of the business of this thing here. So you got a girl that's ready to fight you at the end of the year. Carolyn's optimistically open minded about the situation from the very beginning. I understand you're not next because you got a fight that you may want to fight. I'm gonna fight somebody in June or July, and then we can fight in December. And I just see a girl that's trying to insult this young lady in order to prevent having to fight this lady. You know, if she's not on your level, if she's really a pup, you should be have no problem fighting her. You fought to her last opponent. I mean, her last opponent was the opponent you fought. So if you'll fight that opponent and who you let come down in weight, because we must understand that Sushin was a 135 pounder who came down. You do know that, right?
Boomerang Sheen, yeah.
So, yes. So, who was on a major layoff. And you have nowhere that you can draw anything. Alicia Baumgartner has to understand at the end of the day, you're not a draw. And Carolyn has that edge over you. You know, you kind of dwindled the ball when you failed your test, and then you got exposed by Adrian Broner that you're not from Detroit because you was pimping that Detroit lane, wearing them buffs, and pimping that lane real smooth. So you lost that Michigan flow because you from Ohio. Like us from Ohio. And ain't nothing wrong with it. It ain't where you from. It's how
Mhm.
you've come in the first place. But
It
you kind
is.
of lost sight of that because you're arrogant and you're pretty and you're a diva or whatever the case may be. And that's all well and good because you're selling. But in order to sticker that is to fight tough opponents. There's no one else for you to fight. There's no one else that we want to see you fight. There's really truly no money fight for you except for Carolyn Dubois, who's open to fighting you. Because Katie ain't talking about you. Amanda ain't talking about you. I mean, they're not even talking about you much. You're talking about them, but they're not talking
Mhm.
about you. And they just don't see that fight happening. And I think also Alicia understands that those fights aren't happening either. But I'll keep talking about I want the best to prevent myself from going up fighting the best.
And I'll tell you who would bring a good fight to her,
Mm.
and on a market value, who would be a good opponent for her.
Ooh.
Michaela Mayer, the rematch.
Well,
Yeah.
she's not going to fight her either.
But
Because
she's
some people think
already,
she lost.
yep, she's already put the roadblock up there and made little statements like, trying to like brush her off. I'm like, okay, I see what you're trying to do. You don't want to have to. You knew sometimes when people know they're in a close fight, they don't really want to. They're like, "Oh, I almost lost that one. I ain't finna. You know what I mean?
I
So,
mean, Michaela, I have to be honest, and I didn't want to say this. In that fight, I thought it was more a draw than anything. Michaela outboxed you. Michaela kind of outmaneuvered you, but Alicia hit her with the harder punches, and she kind of bulled her way early a lot better. And I felt her bullying was a little better than Michaela's boxing, if you know what I
right.
mean.
I know what you mean.
And
Yeah.
it could have went if they would have said Michaela won, I would have understood why. And when they said that Alicia won, I understood why. So, at the end of the day, Alicia's in a good lane. I know she's probably trying to do a Ronda Rousey with boxing, pimp my look, pimp how cute I am, and et cetera, and lean this to probably some, like old girl said, a WWE something. talking about retirement, all the things that let me know you really don't want that work with that young girl because you're talking arrogant without talking about what it is you need to be doing, which is in boxing. I lost a smidge of the respect for her when she started acting like you got to be shaped up, got to have a six pack waist in order to have the skills to whoop these women out here. And I'm like, you got boxing sadly mistaken. It ain't about how you look, it's about how you fight.
Right. Yeah.
It's
It's
a
not the
lot of,
water. It's not a beauty pageant. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, did you see what David Benavidez did last night? That's 196 pounds. And he don't look like no chiseled whizzle. He just got the
Facts.
skills that pays every single bill.
Facts. Facts.
you know
Facts. Real
and
talk.
it's just it's mind-boggling, but I like kind of like what you said with Michaela brushing her off. I see her trying to brush Carolyn off too, but we both know you can't run from Michaela forever. You're gonna have to give her that work, but I do believe if she gets beat convincingly, she'll retire.
Yeah. Yeah.
i,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't
Well,
think
I
her
can see
ego
that.
can take it.
Exactly. 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 But we're gonna see. We're gonna just let it play out a little bit longer and just
I
kind of keep.
actually think she's going to try to drag this the rest of this year out and most of next year out, and she'll try to fight one of these tough girls in December of 2027. And ain't nobody waiting for that. I
Yeah,
don't got
man.
to see you with no panties and bras on, posing like a model and pushing that look category when I want to see you in there showing me them skill categories. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Yeah.
You know, that's what I
Yeah.
like about Clarissa Shields, as obnoxious as she is. As long as we talking about boxing, and I mean women's boxing, say whatever you want, baby. But it's the moment that you start trying to shift it to all this other stuff is when you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I can dig it, man. I can dig it. Um. So, man, we just heating up. So let's talk about
Yeah.
my guy. I mean, me personally, I don't know about you, but I'm a Bruce Ennis
Mhm.
fan. So Bruce Ennis versus Xander Zayas.
Oh, I couldn't wait for you to talk about that. I want you. I know who your boy is, so I want you to bring it up, and we gonna serve it.
Yeah.
I love Boots. I love talented fighters. You know my little connection with Philly. So I've been peeping Boots for a while. I'm gonna say this, and since we live, I'm gonna go ahead and say Boots got a flaw, a serious flaw that I'm not gonna ever bring up until he is exposed, because I think that's just being fair. But he got a glaring flaw that I hope that his daddy is paying attention to, and I hope he's paying attention to it. Sometimes with all your greatness, with all your speed and all your talent, sometimes it can make you not pay attention to one particular area that it seems like keeps showing up in every fight. I think you might know what I'm
Mm.
talking about. Maybe you don't, but
We're gonna talk about it off air after the show. We're gonna talk about
yeah, we
it.
will.
Yeah.
We'll talk. But I pray that they're working on that, because some people will work hard at trying to stop the nine things that you do that they don't do good, just so they can exploit that one thing that you don't do pretty good at all. And he's fighting a game tough killer coming up. And I think he's thinking it's going to be a skill thing. And it is to a degree, but it's also going to be a grit and grind situation. And I hope that he's planning on giving it, like says he's going to be taking it when he fights Xander. Because I got this a 50-50 fight. I do not have Boots dominating this fight. And it's a couple reasons why. And this is his toughest fight of his career. And if it's not,
Mhm.
he gonna prove it to me. But this is his toughest fight of his career. I don't know what the rest of the fans may feel about that, but Xander brings more to the table against Boots than what Boots has brought to the table against Xander. And I think that that might shock people when this fight happens. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
man. It's definitely a very intriguing, a very
This is
I
not
love
no
this.
whitewash fight. This is not no all
Exactly.
dominant.
Yeah.
This is
Right. Yeah,
Somebody gonna
yeah.
be brand new after that fight, or somebody gonna remain the same.
What do you think, Wayne? Wayne Smout, what's going on, mate? Roger Downs, what's going on, my guy? What do y'all
All
think
right.
about Boots versus Xander Zayas? Let me know y'all predictions since y'all in the chat as well.
Mm,
And thanks for showing
mm.
love.
Hey,
Man,
speed does kill, Roger, but preparation, timing, and technique and a good game plan can deviate any game plan.
mm, great rebuttal, man. Great rebuttal. Yeah, man, because, man, it's one of them type of fights, man, that like you said, I feel like 50-50 when I'm just
Yeah.
thinking, just like that, when I'm just thinking off the top of my head. But then I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back and watch more of them because I like to go back and rewatch them again and kind of pick up on the little small things that I might overlook. Like,
We
oh,
got
I
to.
didn't keep that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
Yep.
want to go like really brush up on it a little bit tighter before I can make a final prediction before the actual fight date. You know what I'm saying? Because we got a little bit of time
Absolutely.
before they actually fight.
Who was that fight that Boots fought? I don't know if it was in Philly or what, but he had on like this teal boxing trunks or whatever. It was a fight. I don't know if it was in Philly or what, but he headlined this fight, or he was beside Tank
Um,
and it won.
I'm trying to think. The
It
last
was
couple
it
people I
wa-
can think of my head
it
is
it was the
Avenesian.
it, it was the
Was it
fight before Stagnonis.
was it Lima or Avenesian or Lima?
It was it was one of
Lima?
them. If you go back and watch that fight, you'll peep what I was speaking on a little earlier. And then you'll look at the
Okay.
fighter that was able to do what he did in spite of that. So I say to myself, you're going to fight another fighter that's kind of got a lot more, bring a lot more to the table than this guy you just fought. And, like I said, sometimes fighters fight to their talent and fight to their opposition's talent, if you say, or lack
Mm,
thereof. And, so maybe that's what that was. But you're not gonna knock Xander out with no one punch, and you're not gonna bull rush him. And he ain't gonna just come. He ain't just no Puerto Rican hooker. He's gonna do more than throw hooks at you. And this is gonna be it's gonna be a war.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
could be a fight of the
Definitely.
year.
Yeah. I like it, man. It's definitely
I'm
one to
talking
be
about a
hyped up
couple of
about.
I'm talking about a couple of knockdowns, like 2, 3 knockdowns in the whole fight. I'm serious. This fight could really shock a lot of people.
That's what I'm talking about, man. Yeah, man. Man, that's definitely out of the upcoming fights. That's the one I'm most excited about,
Yes.
alongside the one that's going down this next upcoming weekend in the heavyweight division.
Okay.
Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois.
All right.
That's going to be it, you just know, like, all right, bro, this can't see 12 rounds. I don't even know if it will go past seven.
I was thinking 5, maybe 6. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
and I got the boy. I got the boy winning.
And a couple of people were saying that. That's
I
what
don't
Mike said
know.
earlier. He said he got Dubois. What do y'all think, y'all? In the chat, Dubois
Absolutely,
versus Fabio Wardley. Let us know and why. It's definitely gonna be a war of Wayne Smout. Who do you have and why? Let me know, mate.
absolutely.
Mackie, what do you
I
think about Wardley
I
versus
think
Dubois?
I think Wardley doesn't box enough. I just think he's a punishing puncher, but a guy that games plan for you and also have power, I really think he could. I think he could knock Wardley out. And it's not to say Wardley won't win this fight. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
Mm,
Dubois got this type of style. Especially if I see the Dubois that fought Anthony Joshua versus Wardley, I don't see how Wardley beats him. I don't see how Wardley beats him. Nah. And I'm not saying Wardley fights like Anthony Joshua, but their styles are
But what he does do that I think is similar to AJ
hmm
is he's just not that defensively responsible. He's there to be hit for sure.
Well,
But
if he
neither
misses,
guy,
he could get put
but
to
neither
bed.
guy has. Yeah, yeah, he can get put to bed. Wardley and Dubois, neither guy really has head movement, so it kind of makes it
That's true.
a even
But
even game.
I have seen Dubois. He kind of uses his head when he throws those flat-footed angle shots. He'll move his head
Hmm.
so he doesn't catch your come-in punch. But if you, it's all on how you present yourself in attacking him. Because if you put him out of position like Usyk did, he gonna have a
Right.
long night. But if you
Facts.
don't put him out
Facts.
of position, you're gonna be target practice. And I don't think
Facts.
Wardley knows how to get him out of position, and that's why I'm leaning for Triple D to win that fight.
You made a good point because there's only one Alexander Usyk, and he perfects his craft on what he does. He's
He's the
defensively
only one that's
sound. Yeah, I
He's the
mean he
only
he
one
got.
that's beat on Dubois.
Yep, only one that did him like he
Dubois has
did.
whooped everybody else. It's just,
Yep, yep, yeah.
you
Like once
know,
he lost one loss before it to Joe Joyce, he was pretty much on a run. You know, he
hmm
was stopping everything. He
hmm
learned a lot from
hmm
that one loss, and he was still kind of green. You know, learning his way at
absolutely,
that time. Right now,
absolutely.
he's prime. This is prime Dubois, so
I mean,
you
he's
can't count
still
him
in
out.
it. No, you can't count him out. He's still in it, and he's a gang fighter. I mean, if we're gonna talk about who the best heavyweight to me, I want to see people fight this guy so we can end him or we can salute him. And you know who I'm great saying, and that's my boy Frank. Frank Sanchez, man. I love his.
Oh, he's gonna be.
Uh,
You know, he's supposed to be fighting Richard Torres
yeah,
Jr.
yes,
So
he
happy you brought
is.
it up, man. So yeah, because that,
I'm
that was on
excited.
that was on the list. So what do you think, man?
Oh man, I'd love to see Sanchez get in the ring with AJ. I'd love to see him get in the ring with Usyk, most definitely. I believe he can beat Usyk. Uh, Triple D, obviously Wilder, but I don't think Wilder. I think Wilder's got three fights he's fighting, and them the only three we're gonna see him fighting. And so I'm gonna take him out of that because of that. He's just wanting the money, and if he's gonna get a title shot, it's gonna be against Usyk. He ain't gonna fight the other ones. Um, but yeah, I would really love to see Frank fight Usyk. I would like Sanchez to be one of his last three fights. He said he only gonna fight three more times. I wish Sanchez would be one of the three, but I don't know. Um, we know Wilder's probably gonna be one of them because he wants that for his resume, which you can understand. I beat every single fighter of the decade that y'all thought were great. I beat them all. That's good. You know what they said,
Hmm.
feather in his cap. Um,
Right.
you know,
For
um,
sure.
you know,
Hmm.
uh, I'm still, in the heavyweight division. Andy Ruiz ain't out. I don't think he has the dedication anymore. But I always thought Andy had the skills. It's just that
Actually, he got skills. He just inconsistent. Yeah, it's just like
I
his.
mean, he made that money, man. That money,
Yep,
that money will
yep.
sit
He's
you on your
changing. He's
behind.
changing. Yeah,
When
yeah.
I
It's
saw the
like that
chains and the
money too.
jewelry and the watches, I said, "Uh oh, Andy, he gone."
Yeah, man. Yep,
Took care of that family.
yep,
That's what it's
yep.
about.
For
Definitely.
sure, man. But yeah, Frank Sanchez. Salute to Frank Sanchez. I like him as well. My only issue that kind of got me kind of like, man, I don't know. Like Frank Sanchez is cold because of his that Cuban flash style. Like when we saw him with Efe Ajagba back in the day, that was vintage Frank Sanchez. You
Absolutely.
know, Efe Ajagba could not land anything flush on him because we know Efe Ajagba had knockout power, but he couldn't land it. The only
hmm
problem I saw was in the last fight, that injury or whatever, that I don't know if it was his knee or meniscus or whatever tear, whatever he had.
Right.
That kind of frightens me. Like, is that fully healed? Like, is he able to be mobile again? Or if that's still hindering him, I don't like that for him.
Oh, absolutely. And it's been a lot of, with Frank, it's been a lot of inactivity to a degree. He can't get people to get in the ring with him, and that can draw you out. And then, I think that's really been his biggest hindrance, because an active fighter can
Mm-hmm.
turn into a great fighter, and a stalled fighter can end up being out a boxing fighter. you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, man.
it's
Well
it's it's
said.
it's, it's going to be an interesting ending to this year. I'm definitely excited for the future. Earl Spence. I'm gonna give a little hint out there. I don't know if I should give it out now or what, but don't be surprised. I'm gonna say this: if we get Fundora versus Charlo next,
Okay, okay. Now,
just don't be surprised.
because we know Spence is on his comeback, and
Hmm.
him and Charlo been on the couch for about 3 years. They've been and I really thought that would have been a better fight. Two guys coming off close to the same amount of time and not been in the ring. Kind of got
I don't want to
history
see him fight.
left.
I don't
I
want to
wouldn't
see him
mind it,
fight.
but I mean, hey, I mean Tim Zoo. I mean, I feel like Spence has enough muscle memory, enough
Hmm.
uh to beat Tim Zoo. Tim Zoo to me, he'll fight anybody like Cambosis. These guys fight everyone, but
Hmm.
they only have a ceiling to go so high.
Absolutely,
They're not, yeah,
absolutely.
they're not at that level. So I feel like Spence, knowing what he knows, being through what he went through, the type of pedigree, the type of levels he's fought at, I think he could persevere and beat Tim Zoo
I
in
agree
his
with that
backyard in
nature.
Australia.
I think that should tell people a whole lot, the fact that he does want to go there. Earl's looking to be motivated, and he wants a real mental challenge. And this is exactly what he's looking for. This was meant to be the way it's been and going down. And it's perfect timing for Earl to come back. And this is a great opponent to come back against. Um, for Charlo, I say I don't want to see him fight Earl, not because I don't want to see them fight. It's going to be what it's going to be, and it potentially going to happen. But you were the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world. So just because of that, I don't care what fans think. I don't care what people wish, thought, want to comment on. You have more respect to me, from me, because of that, and the fact you didn't lose your titles. And I didn't like the way they stripped him of them. But it is what it
Yeah.
is. Um, he deserves a shot at the championship before he should just go fight a Earl Spence. Now, if that's all he's looking at, oh, it's just about fighting a ex friend and building up money behind a grudge match or whatever match you want to call this, then fine, then that's cool. But I think it takes away from your validity as an ex undisputed champion and a future Hall of Famer. I want people to understand that you don't gotta like Charlo. He is a future Hall of Famer. That's just period. Undisputed junior middleweight champion, never lost at 154, and because of that, he deserves a shot against Fundora or Xander before Earl Spence, getting in the ring with Earl Spence. I feel that you got bigger fish to fry than dealing with Earl. But if you don't think you do, and you want to go out here and mess with this shark, then go on down and mess with this shark, because we'll tune in and watch it. But you deserve a little more respect for all that you gave to the division from 2018 to 2024. And if to me that said something to me, you fought the battles, you beat and cleaned out the division, and the one guy you wanted to fight, he ran from you. And we talking about my man from DC, uh, Swift.
Hurt,
Yeah, her,
Jared
Jared
Hurt,
Hurd. Jared played himself out of his position, ate himself also out of his position, and had to move up and never, got that unification the way it was supposed to. And, Brian Castano, came into play of that. You earned that so fairly. I mean, he cleaned out the division. And because of that, I feel he deserves a little more respect on the 154 division and what he wants to do. I don't want to hear about where he can't sell out at or whatever. You put that fight in Texas, people gonna show up. You put that fight in Vegas, people gonna show up. This is Jermell Charlo, and if you put him in the ring with a stellar opposition, if he ain't no good and it's what they're saying it's this he's the past, then let's find out. And if he's not, let's find out. but he deserves for the 154 division, not boxing, but just the 154 division. He deserves an opportunity to get his shot at the title first. I mean, he didn't lose it. Give the champ his shot, and let's end all this. And I don't think Bassi has any problem with doing that. I think Fundora would gladly fight him if it makes sense, and it makes perfect sense. And it'd be another notch in his belt, just like he did with Keith Thurman, Charlo, Zoo, and on and on. You know what I mean? I just think that Fundora versus Charlo is necessary. Maybe not what we want to see, but it's necessary. It's this is going to end Charlo, or it's going to make him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I get it. I get it from that standpoint that you
Yeah.
just broke down and you broke it down very well. I guess I'm just looking at it from the standpoint too that it could happen, but maybe the timing of it. Like right now, you ever had your little tune up or whatever? I think you might need your little tune up before you can go mess with Fundy right now. I don't think
Oh
you want to
yeah,
jump
I
right into
agree. I agree. I
Fundy right
agree.
now.
I mean, who he's going to have a tune up with it though is I'm very interested in, because I mean, you've been out, you got your money from Canelo, so we know that you good, and that made you leaving and staying gone away a little longer, I guess okay. But both of them deserve a shot at seeing what's what. Like after Earl get through Zoo, he gonna want nothing but big fights. And it's going, we already know he can fill 40, 50,000 in Jerry's world at any given time he want to fight. But I don't think Earl wanted the pressure of coming back after that time and fighting at home. So this right here is a beautiful way for him to revitalize his career, as well as revitalize people's memory on why he's called the True.
Okay, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Y'all just heard what the church had to say. And
Already.
like I said, we still grilling for a little bit too.
Oh
Write it
man.
down. You said Miller versus Wilder. That's something that we had on our list on the topic list.
Yeah,
What do you
that's
think about
Wilder's
that? The
top
two
three.
American two American fighters. Um,
Hmm.
what
Hmm.
would the fight be in your estimation? What would the fight be if
It's
they fought?
Madison Square Garden or it's
I say
Brooklyn.
New York.
It's one
New
of them.
York.
It's
New
one of
York.
the two. We know
New
that
York.
because we
Mm-hmm.
know how Brooklyn feel about Wilder, and you being a Wilder. I mean, a Miller being a New York native. That's a sellout waiting to
Uh-huh.
happen. I know that fight will
Mm-hmm.
probably happen for Wilder, but like I said, that's the top three fights he only got left. Wilder's only gonna
Yeah.
fight Miller, Usyk, or AJ. That's it. If there's a
Right.
fourth
Yeah.
one, maybe he'll fight a Tyson Fury, but I don't think that fight's ever gonna happen again. We don't need to see that. But those are the only three fights Wilder got left. He got a Miller, he got AJ, and he got Usyk. And he might not have any of those other two if he get put to sleep in his next one, or who knows. But I don't believe we're going to see Wilder in any fight but those three.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Roger Downs. You said I would still like Andrew Ruiz versus Wilder. That would
Oh, I
still
would
be it. I
love
would
that.
still be another one.
Oh, I would
That'd be
love that
crazy.
fight. And we can
That
have
would be
that
that'd
fight
be
in the
crazy right there.
we could have it in the crypto arena in LA.
Oh man, there you go. There you go.
Oh man.
There
Me
you
and my
go.
brothers, hey, my whole crew will be at the whole West Coast will be in there with us together. Oh, yeah, we'll have that filled up. Or we could have that in Vegas. Andy draws out west, and I think Andy can draw in
Mhm.
New York, where he won his title at. So, the people know who
Well, that's
Andy
true too.
Ruiz is,
Yeah,
you know.
he stepped himself
So
when he beat AJ
and
out
I
there.
like
Yeah.
I like Andy. That's a good fight. Ruiz versus Wilder. I'd like to see Andy versus Jared Miller.
Yeah, the rematch. Yeah, yeah, it's a rematch.
Again, I
Yeah,
thought
it
Andy,
was a draw
pounded on
technically.
him. Yeah, I just thought Andy wasn't
I had
focused.
Miller. I gave Miller the edge on that one. It was a draw,
You did?
what they gave him, but I gave Miller the edge.
I see so
Cause
many
he,
skills in Miller, but I just see a guy that seems like he's let go of his effort. He gives it to you in spurts, kind of like Broner at the end. He got the whole arsenal in his gauge, but he won't let it go. You know, um, But yeah, Jared got money on the table. He's brushed away that image somewhat. That tagged him along. We don't have to really get into that because it's about boxing. But he's brushed away that image somewhat, and hopefully, he got to keep winning. He got to keep winning. The heavyweight division is in the middle right now. Um, and like David said, Benavidez, maybe 3, 5 years from now, I might be a heavyweight. But I'm gonna hold down this cruiserweight and lightweight division, heavyweight division. I like them options. I'm gonna tell people
Hmm.
this: he don't need Canelo. He don't need him now. He don't need him. But for the money, why not? But it don't make or break his career if he don't fight Canelo because he wanted it. Canelo's career is gonna be tainted because he didn't. So David's in a win-win right now. Hey, if you don't want to fight me, Canelo, you ain't doing them but building my stock. But if you want to fight me, I'm still gonna build my stock. Just stay in your lane, David. It's a great lane, and continue to dominate like you're doing. Because as of today, May 3rd, 2026, yeah, David Benavidez is the number one boxer in all of boxing. I said
Okay, so I'm about to go there since we talking about him. And
it.
shout out to my little cousin Brody James. What's going on, cuzzo? Thanks for following through. Everybody, please hit the thumbs up
We
when y'all
see.
follow
I
through
see
here.
Roger Downs. Good question. Yeah, rematch would be great.
Now, since we're talking about David Benavidez, because a lot of the stuff that's floating around social media,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if you've seen that interview, but I can send it to you after the show. Ja
Okay.
Apataya said, "Hey, pretty much I want that smoke, David Benavidez." Now here's the thing, though. You saying all this, which I believe you, but
Mm-hmm.
why did you put yourself in a compromisable position to go over to Zuffa, sign with them to only to have the IBF stripped from you? Now the IBF belt is vacant, so you
Mm-hmm.
don't even have the belt. So I mean, so what's in it for David to even want to fight you? Because you don't have the IBF belt. So what
Absolutely.
sense does it really make? You know what I'm saying? Unless Zuffa's going to let it be for the IBF. So you done kind of put
Mm-hmm.
yourself in a web. And and I understood. You look at it like you looked at what's his name, Regis Prograde, who just retired, and you look at the Conor Ben. They get this $15
Mm-hmm.
million for a 2 or 3 fight deal, and you see the dollar signs, and it's appealing, and you're like, oh man, I got to think about my family. I got to think about this whip I just got, these payments. But you're not thinking about legacy in the regards of the belts that you
Yes.
work so hard to obtain. So it's
Absolutely.
kind of like a give and take. Like, do you give this all away just because you wanted the bread? You know what I'm
Right. Right. I mean, a lot of these guys out here, they got a lot of vices. You know what I mean? They got a lot of different things going on in their lives, and you'd be surprised. Some of the guys that are high notoriety, public figures, and they broke, and we don't know that, but they broke. And I ain't talking about, are broke, or I should
saying? I
say they
broke, right?
broke. Other people broke now, what
Right,
I'm saying.
right,
But
right, right, right.
somebody who has got was worth 10, 15 million dollars, and you see he now down to 1.2 or 800,000. He crushed, he hurting with those type of things, trying to readjust with that type of money losses. And um yeah, but these guys is out here trying to get that money. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with it. I see a monopoly taking place again. I see a twist in promotions on how they're trying to deal with one another to make certain fights and not to make certain fights. And drawing fighters from one organization and trying to bring them over to another, a la Connor Ben. But Connor said some very telling things that I'm with him on it, you know. And yeah, he had the circumference of being enabled by Eddie, but he didn't have the circumference of his pockets being padded by Eddie, so that he could have some, wiggle room. and he went for some wiggle room because $15 million is $15 million. And if I'm Connor Ben, you're gonna take 2, 3, 4 million from Eddie, who's supposed to be your brother, your partner, or you're gonna take 15 mil from Dan and White with potential to go more. Because Connor got a country. We can never forget that he got a country behind him. So
Mm-hmm.
smart move. He's gonna make a couple of bucks there, regardless to what happens. I think Connor's got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
a. I like his tenacity, his fighting characteristics, not style, but his fighting characteristics. I'm talking about from up here. Reminds me a lot of Zab Judah, uh, but he's a front runner. He's a front runner, and anybody he gets in the ring with early on, they're gonna have some problems. But after you get past that fifth round, I think you can turn Conor Ben into what he really gonna be, unless he gets some good training around him. He
Mm-hmm.
needs some good
Memories.
training as somebody to control that breathing, and somebody to give him a patient understanding of when to attack and when to fight in spurts and move that head. Move that head.
Very
You
important.
getting
Got to move it off that center line.
too many
Too
headbutts,
many
I be
people on the
saying.
center line. They won't. They won't
Yeah.
move it. They won't. They
Mhm.
won't move it.
But he's got that fire. He's got that nasty grit
Yeah.
and tenacity that real
Mm-hmm.
champions need to have in order to be great. And he's a trainer away. He needs the right trainer to help. Yeah, he will be fine. He has all the
You think you
potential.
do good? You think you do good with Ronnie Shields
Oh,
or Buddy McGirt?
absolutely. Oh no,
Buddy
nobody
McGirt.
McGirt. Nobody McGirt. But Ronnie Shields would be a great Calvin Ford, a master at boxer punchers, and teaching them how to use a jab too. He would benefit from them too. Ronnie Shield, Calvin Ford, another good trainer that would help him out tremendously, and actually is probably the best trainer for him. But I don't think he'll ever do it. And that's Bozy Ennis.
Oh, okay.
He would be
Mm-hmm.
able to harness that wild style a lot better and show him and with his son being a little unorthodox with the fighting this way, fighting that way, I think he could that type of combustion could help out the style processing of Conor Ben going in the ring with other fighters and teaching him a vast more sound game plan on how to fight and when to take it easy in the ring to preserve yourself for the ending parts of these fights because Connor, when we think of you, let's truth be told, we think of you beating a drained Chris Eubanks,
Facts. 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 Yeah.
who I believe if the fight would have been at the fair weight, we probably wouldn't be talking about you, Connor.
Mm-hmm.
But
Absolutely.
such is life.
Yep. Such is life, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
man. Let me read a
Yeah.
couple of these chats, and we're gonna go on more subjects, y'all. Hold on one second. Uh,
hmm
Rich Talmadge. Hey, what's up, bro? Make sure you hit the thumbs up, Rich, and everybody coming in. Thanks for following through, Rich. You said I believe Ben versus Boots will be a great
Yeah.
fight. Would like that one. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That would be Ben versus Boots. I think Boots would annihilate him because of that factor. A big
Yep.
enough
Yep.
man, it ain't gonna be no weight clauses, a divisional fight. If
Mm-hmm.
Ben can't knock him out within the first 3, 4 rounds, he gonna take a back alley ass whooping to the decision or till he quits.
Yeah, man, for sure. I feel like that too. I feel like Boots' athleticism gets him out of certain peculiar situations where other people who don't have the gift of that type of mobility and agility, kind of like a Roy
hmm
Jones. You know what I'm saying? There's only one
There
Roy
you
Jones.
go.
Don't get me wrong,
Yeah,
but I'm saying that like Boots has a certain special edge to his game as well, and he gets himself out of
absolutely,
situations because of his agility. Where the average
absolutely.
person, is gonna be right there to be hit, or they don't have the educated feet to move and dip in and out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So
Yes, I do.
that's a
You
special
know,
gift, man.
I
A natural,
like it.
natural gift.
I like it. I like what Boots has to the table. Boots has put himself in a corner where he's now forced to have great fight after great fight. And that's going to happen now if he just keeps
Hmm.
winning.
Hmm.
You know, he's at that position now where it's going to happen. His next four fights are going to crown his career. And because he's going to end up probably being a middleweight anyway. You know what I'm saying? Same with Earl. Earl's a middleweight. You know, he really don't want to fight at 154, but because Zoo doesn't want to be 160. See, that alone told me a lot about this fight. Earl want 160, you want 154, but y'all catch, you know, it's a catchweight fight at 158. So I say to myself, a man 3 years that you was talking trash about from the way he lost to Crawford, why would you need all those advantages? And the man's telling you he'll fight you in Australia. Maybe you
Hmm.
have lost more than I thought you lost, and Earl hasn't. Because, but you know, this is business, and in business, you want all the advantages to go your way. You know, so it's gonna be very interesting, man. That's gonna be an interesting time. You know, very interesting. You know, who would you like to see David Benavidez fight next?
If it isn't Jai Apataya,
Hmm.
it could be Bivol after Bivol fights Eifert.
Hmm.
So the winner of Bivol versus Eifert, whoever wins, which I believe it'll be Bivol.
Yeah, I
Um,
that's the only
or
fight I want to
Peterbius,
see.
or Peterbius. If he can't get Bivol, I want to see him fight Artur Peterbius. I'm good with either one of those. And he
You
wants
know,
those. He's been calling them out.
Better
Benavidez
Beef,
been calling them out.
Better Beef obviously is a greater fight, but the magnitude has been stripped because they gave Bivol that victory over him. Not that it still ain't a great fight, but Bivol, the Bivol winner of that fight, that's who I want to see David fight next. There is no other fight. Canelo's not fighting you. Better Beef will fight you, but I think Better Beef should wait until after Bivol and Benavidez or the winner of that fight. That way, that could be his retirement match because he's near the end anyway. Um, Yeah, Bivol, you need to fight him. I kind of want him to get exploited for what it is. Uh, there's a lot of history between them two, and it needs to be brought out to the public. We could talk about those sparring matches back when David was younger, and we could talk about the tremendous ass whooping that he was putting on him too. And I said it. It's just the truth. And you know, that's one of the main reason why this fight hasn't happened because somebody don't want the secret to get out. And so I feel that that fight needs to take place. To be honest, and David said it best. I shouldn't have had to fight Ramirez. It should have been me and Bivol next anyway. But Bivol said he was hurt and he wanted to do this. So David ain't, you know what great fighters do. I'm gonna go try to be even greater and went up to cruiserweight and got him a title. So kudos to David. And now Bivol cannot fight the guy he's about to fight next, win that fight, and think he ain't gonna fight Benavidez after that. No, that's gonna bring too much heat to him. You win that fight, and that fight in June, if I'm right, or July.
I think so.
November,
Oh,
December, Benavidez versus Bivol, you know, or it really could be September because July, or yeah, I don't know. Bivol might not, yeah, probably, yeah, you know, yeah, who knows,
and
you
I want to
know,
speak on something, man, because
huh?
if I see a very noticeable double standard, I will try to speak on it right then and there. So why
Hmm.
is it that Canelo Alvarez was chasing greatness when he went up to fight against Bivol, but now when Benavidez fights Zeno Ramirez, it's he's on his way out the door. He ain't the Zerto. This,
Mm,
you know what I mean? It's all these excuses of what
absolutely.
Zerto never was or what ain't no more and all this. Instead of just giving props to Benavidez, like, hey man, congrats, bro, man.
There you
Man, you
go.
did your thing, brother. I'm gonna give you some love. It's got to be all this
Absolutely.
hate. But when Canelo stepped up to Bivol, oh, he was chasing greatness.
Oh, he was just trying to do make history.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know, man.
Don't
I
stand it
know.
at his finals, man. Don't stand it at his
But the facts remains is the truth can't be disputed when all your actions have always led to you doing mediocre things. Uh, if it was good for you, it's good for me. And just because we got people trying to be biased, so that fact won't be recognized, doesn't mean that it ain't true. So we're gonna still stand on the truth, and we're gonna stand on the fact that if one man's being great about it, the other was too. Then, because to be truthfully honest, you couldn't have been that great because Bivol whooped on you. And you made Bivol, that was Bivol's greatest performance, whooping on you, as opposed to
finals.
uh, David going up to cruiserweight and whooping on that boy. And his best performance we've seen, in my opinion, since the Caleb Plant fight. Because I thought that was a great fight for David. And that this fight eclipsed it.
And speaking of Bivol, I like him. Don't get me wrong; he has a good fighting style. He's real slick with it or whatever. But when he put it on Canelo, he did just that. Gave him a boxing lesson. Had him balling up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to protect himself. You know how he be on his feet. So a lot of times, Bivol is not necessarily sitting on his punches in the same fashion that David Benavidez does.
Mm-mm,
David
mm-mm.
Benavidez doesn't do. So if David Benavidez was connected on Canelo, it's gonna be a whole different level of power.
Well, I
And the
saw
fact he got
better
those kind of
be.
hands.
Hmm.
Oh, go ahead. What you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. And I saw Better Beeve. He won the end fighting, and he's slow when he fought Biffle. You let David get in close with you, Biffle, like that, it's gonna be what happened in 2018. Because when y'all fight, we
Mm-hmm.
are gonna have to talk about what happened in 2018, Biffle. We're gonna
Yeah.
have to speak
Yeah.
on that. I ain't gonna speak on it, but once
Mm-hmm.
y'all sign that contract, we're gonna talk on why this fight took so long. Because he know what happened in 2018, and it really catapulted David. Because when you get a young lion in there that wants an opportunity to be great, and you letting him sharpen his iron against Hall of Famers, Olympic gold medalists, grown men at 16, 17, 18, and he's doing great and punishing some of them that a lot of the world don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's time to it's time to start filling in the blanks with good fights that people can start to ask and have their answers questions answered on who's really the best. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Let me read a couple of these chats because I
Oh,
don't want y'all to think
definitely.
I'm ignoring you. So let me roll back up in here. So Wayne Smout, mate, you said Benavidez is wasting time, never going to get a Canelo fight. I think he was just putting him on blast, like, hey, you pretty much he already been speaking on the fact because you got to understand too. This is another thing, Wayne, is most of the times interviewing the interviewers and people, they're asking Benavidez about Canelo. Most of the time, he doesn't bring him up anymore. They're asking
Right.
him, so of course he's going to answer it. So I think he was just in the moment of now, hey, all these reporters keep asking me about Canelo. Let me go ahead and just throw it out in the atmosphere. Let me go ahead and
Right.
checkmate it. That's all it was. It was like a
Hmm.
checkmate, like a chess move.
Yeah. Especially after
Because
a
on the
great
other
performance
side,
like that.
exactly, exactly. So, but I get what you're saying at the same time, Wayne. Canelo don't want it.
Yeah, and
Never
I
did
mean,
want it. He never did. He
I,
never did want
he never did want it. He just had
it.
certain people that were just on his jock, really trying to, no matter what he did, they wanted to make excuses. When I saw a plethora of people try to defend him fighting John Ryder, that's when I knew it was over for him. Like, you got to be kidding me. I mean, there's certain excuses you can't back up, but y'all tried to back that one. I said, you know what? This is going to be one of the ones where we're never going to get acknowledged the truth, but we know. You
Yeah.
know he ain't gonna tell you you're
Mhm.
right, but you know he. You know, it's almost like it's as funny as somebody saying, "Oh, Floyd need to show his kahunas and fight a real fighter." This man 50, 51 years old, and y'all want to, you hate him that much. He got to fight somebody greater 51.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's over. It's
Man.
over, y'all. It's over. And not to even touch on Floyd too much, but I don't know if the IRS if you really owe the IRS and this supposed take your passport, right? They normally take your passport because you're trying to run from something and not come back. They don't take it when you're going to go make some money and come back with it. So I hope that y'all pay attention to that when you listen to some of these reports out here. With all this pressure, shouldn't somebody have already filed for bankruptcy? I mean, since they broke,
Hmm.
I mean, somebody suing somebody for $300 million owed to them is not that I lost 300 million. I'm owed 300 million. Are we listening to everything and not just the fact that money is owed or something? You know, I don't know, but we'll tune into the Grease fight if it happens, and we're definitely gonna tune in for Manny Pacquiao. And good luck to all those
Yeah,
young fighters.
for sure, for sure.
Hey,
Hey,
what
we
about
gonna keep
that?
grilling. So,
Yeah, how about that one quote um that the young gentleman had spoke out when he said Ja uh Opatai had no choice. Zuffy was the only offer on the table.
oh yeah,
What do you
yeah.
think about that being the only offer? Like, is it a lack of notoriety, talent, or he's hard to promote?
You know what? A good question. I think that's what it is. I think, although he's a good fighter, he has he's a very good fighter with elite potential. But I just think that
Yeah.
he's one of the people that just don't have that marketability for whatever reason. Like some people just struggle to be
Mm,
like Devin Haney. You know, Devin Haney's he's starting to fall into that. I mean, at one point you're really really hot. You beat Cambosis, but it started to really slow down after you lost against Ryan Garcia. Although yeah, it was overturned because of Oscarina or whatever. But the fact
right.
that you made a big fuss and say, "I'll come back
Absolutely.
and get it in blood, and I will rematch Ryan Garcia and show you that I'm the better man," and then never do it, and all these excuses happen, and it gets swept up under the rug. And then Rolly's calling you out sometime later, and then you don't fight Rolly. It's like it's kind of like you're letting your coals get cold. You gotta sometimes strike it while it's hot. And I think with Haney, the best option would have been running back with Ryan Garcia. And if you beat him, it would just have people going crazy like, oh man, I told you, man, Ryan did have to cheat to beat him. But I think you knew that it wasn't the Oscarine that won the fight. It was the fact you had no
Absolutely.
answer for what he was doing.
Well, that too, but if we, with us, well, for us being purists of the sport of boxing, we have to go back to the reality of history. Y'all fought 7 times prior to that fight. Anytime that you beat Ryan, you outboxed him. And anytime Ryan beat you, he hurt you. So you lost the same way Ryan always beats you when he has beaten you. He
hmm
hurts you.
He
And
hurt you.
if I'm
hmm
going to see you beat Ryan Garcia, you probably going to have to outbox it. So there go your money, and there go your scenario. And I think that right now in Devin's life, he doesn't want the scenario of the hate to come his way and the pressure to mount on him with that fight, because that fight in the magnitude of what happened last time, that he will have to go re-examine again. Because imagine when they announce that fight like that. Imagine the hate that's going to come to Haney's way, and no matter what he want to talk about, no, because there's certain fans that know the man cheated, and they won't even acknowledge it. They won't even speak on it. They like kind of push it under the rug like it never happened because he beat somebody that they don't like. I don't know how Haney's going to deal with that mental, because that's going to be played on him tremendously in that fight. And I think he wanted to build up two, three, four fights before he goes back and explores that Garcia fight again. Just my personal opinion. And
Mm-hmm.
watching how they're moving, he's not trying to,
Mm.
I want to rush. He want to come back confidently. He don't want to come back with, dang, that on my mind. That was just last fight. Now I got to go through that. He want to change the trajectory of his mindset on how to face Ryan
Right,
next time, and
right, right. I follow you. Yeah.
I think that really much is why we're seeing that fight not happen left. And then Ryan didn't help anyway with losing the Rolly, but then that's another problem I have with the WBC. This man did not deserve that title shot, but he got it. Cool. He won. Cool. Um, because he sells. And it's going to be very interesting to the future of that fight. I think Ryan goes down before Devin Haney. If Ryan's got to be careful who his next fight is, he better be careful. And the same with Devin Haney, because Devin Haney, he doesn't have many fights he can choose from, whether he knows it or not.
Mm.
He's going to have certain guys come to him, and certain guys that he may want to come to him aren't in that situation there. I mean, you're going to fight Keyshawn Davis, you know, Tiafimo's
Yeah,
done with boxing. I think he's finished.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
I feel that. Mhm.
and a lot of fighters are stalling out, waiting for certain people to make their move before they announce their next move, so that they can place themselves in the best position possible to make some money. And that's all well and good. But I do hope that some of these guys are trying to recognize greatness, see what it really looks like, and go out there and pursue it, so we can see some really good fights taking place.
Mm. Let me read a couple more of these chats off, and then we'll go into another
Absolutely.
segment.
Definitely.
Wayne Smout, you said Ryan versus Connor could be next. Yeah, yeah, that's been circulating. That possibility, Ryan Garcia and Connor Ben. So I do like that fight. So they
That
both got
is
the aggressive edge. Yeah,
That's
that
a
would be,
close.
yeah, that would be
That's
action.
probably going to be Ryan's next fight. That right there
That's a
is
good match.
that'll happen before Ryan versus Devin.
Yeah, facts, facts. It definitely will.
Yeah, definitely, fellas. Real quick, I'm gonna hold on
Now,
just 1 second, real quick, real one
oh
moment.
yeah, yeah, go ahead. Yep, yep. I'm gonna keep it going. All right,
Mhm.
so
I'm still here.
y'all, it's like Ryan and Connor. The winner, what's the name could fight? Maybe Rolly could fight the winner of them.
That would be a great fight, but I don't think Rolly needs to fight Ryan anymore. I personally think that we've crossed that bridge, and Rolly has two things he can uphold on you. I whooped on you and got popular in boxing from beating you in sparring. Then we went to Times Square and fought in the ring, and I beat you. We don't need to entertain that, not unless I want to make some big money. Rolly wants some. He wants one of these. I think Rolly wants to fight a Manny Pacquiao, or don't be surprised if Rolly goes up to 154 and fights a Earl Spence.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, never know, man. Never know. Havoc, thanks for coming through. You said I hope Pac-Man beat Floyd. Floyd is obviously extremely talented, a great fighter, not so good of a man. The example he set with that money bullshit is nonsense.
When did you being poor and you worked your butt off to the point that you show people how you trained, you show people how you eat, you show people how you live, and you worked hard. You didn't steal from nobody. You didn't rob nobody. You started when you was 3 years old. You've been watched and scrutinized your entire life, and you defeated all odds, exposed your family, and we got fans who are loving the sport of boxing, supposedly, are out here worried about how a man spends his money. Like that's got something to do with the moral compass. When we've seen Floyd give, just like we've seen Floyd receive, you know, you like coffee and I don't like coffee. So I don't like you because you like something I don't like or something I don't taste or I don't view because I'm a tea man. Let's just keep it to boxing. Manny's a better fighter. He's probably going to win. And if Floyd is the better fighter, he's probably going to win. So let's just stay in that
Exactly.
lane,
Absolutely, absolutely.
you know.
Rich
But it's
Talmadge,
a,
you said, what you about to say?
no, I wasn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, so Rich Talmadge, you said someone a little smaller and not as weathered. This would be a bad wake up call for Floyd. But money makes people do crazy things. Just
Yeah.
saying, I could see it. Roger Down, you say, does Rico have a chance against Usyk? Um, Rico's a kickboxer. Boxing is not his first discipline. I very highly doubt
he,
that.
yeah.
Maybe he has a
Sounds like
puncher's
a
chance
quick.
if he has a lot of power.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's about it. A puncher's chance. Hey, you leave it at
Sound
that.
like Tyler.
Usyk can take
Sound like
a
Tylenol 3 to me.
punch.
When they get in the ring, somebody
Yeah.
go to sleep.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, I don't think Rico has no chance either, Wayne.
Now, I agree with this, Rich Talmadge, and I want to elaborate on that too. You say Boots is going to be the talk for 5 years. His journey is going to be awesome. He will be the one to beat. I agree, and I want to talk about that because he just sparked something in my mind that I want to talk about earlier.
Okay.
I feel like because don't get me wrong, Bud done his thing, but I
Yes.
feel like at the rate that Boots is at, with so much time left for his
Mm,
career and his legacy to be fulfilled,
yeah.
I think he will surpass Bud, and that could be part of the reason why Bud goes kind of crazy like he does on these rants on Twitter and stuff and going off. Because otherwise, like people say, why would you be so down the sorts about certain stuff and just go off on Twitter if you didn't feel like Boots has something? You know what I mean? Like, what is it
Well,
about Boots that gives you that? You know what I mean? That makes you
yeah,
feel
I
somewhat
agree.
insecure. Like you're retired.
Sim,
Enjoy your
similar,
retirement,
similar,
bro.
similar styles. And at the end of the day, we all know they've dragged Boots out from having a top tier uh marquee fight for a long time. So we see the goods, we see the potential, or you want to say the greatness that's being exhibited, but we haven't been able to have a marquee opponent against him where we can really engage on his greatness the way it needs to be spoke on. And he's just recently getting those opportunities. Like I was saying earlier in our conversation, he's built the crescendo of walls up where there's no longer anything that's going to stand in his way of getting a top fight from this point on. He has to stand up and do the goods. I do not believe he'll be two-time undisputed because I noticed that there are certain promotions that purposely drag out a fighter from being able to be undisputed. He could have two belts and they could have two with two champions and they won't let their fighters happen. And you get a lot of guys that are sitting on weights that they may not want to stay on, but they may stay on it because of the greatness that's tied to it, which is an undisputed fight. But you got to get two promotions to come together in order to make that happen. And in a lot of cases, that's it's not going to happen as long as these companies are controlling different champions because they're going to decide when they want to let this fighter fight and when not. That's one thing people got to always remember. when we're talking to any fighters that are associated with Golden Boy. That should be a lesson for a lot of people in boxing. These fighters on Golden Boy could say all they want, talk all the trash they want, but if Oscar don't say yes, you are not fighting. Don't believe me? Go ask Virgil.
Yeah, yep. And you just brought up something. Yeah, that's crazy because I think that was all like a smoke and mirror thing with the lawsuit or whatever. I think that was all meant to happen just to be a reason for
Mm-hmm.
him not to really get
I,
the smoke.
I I personally don't think Virgil
I
wants
don't
that
think De La
fight.
Hoya, and I don't think De La Hoya wants it for him because recently on another subject that Tank Davis, well Floyd Schofield Senior, the dad, everybody
Yes.
knows, infamous because he's always the voice of his son. He talks
Yeah.
90% of the time, ninety five
I'm
percent of
trying
the
to
time.
be like Bill Haney. I'm trying to be like everybody. So Tiafimo Senior.
Yep,
I just want some attention
yep.
like they get it, so I can give my son some.
There it is, man. So now he's saying the WBA mandatory. We want our shot at Tank Davis. Whoop de whoop, whoop de whoop. Now Oscar said himself out his own mouth, "I do not want that fight for for
I'm
Ken
glad you
Oscar."
brought that up. I'm glad you brought
So
that up.
so if he says that, and that's what Ken J was elaborating on too. If Oscar's saying that he don't want that fight for you, that lets you know, man. He knows, like, man, that's not the smoke you want, man. That's not the smoke you want.
But this is the even crazier thing, right? Do you think that Floyd Schofield talk too much senior is gonna put his control of his son's career in Oscar's hands and not know that Oscar already don't want that as well? But it don't matter. I'm gonna go
Right,
out here and talk on YouTube about it, knowing I don't control if my son can fight this guy next. It's because you know
right,
he's not
right,
fighting him
right.
next. But I'm gonna
Uh
build my
huh.
name and build his name up off this young boy, just like Shakur did, like Devin did, and and like Tevin Farmer tried to do. Uh, I'm gonna keep talking about him because it builds my son. Because we don't have anything else to talk about. I mean, I think Schofield should be happy that he beat on his way out Tevin Farmer in a very impressive fashion, but it's not no major feather in your cap the way y'all pushing it. It was a
Right,
heavily placed decision that Tevin shouldn't have even gotten that fight because he earned the right to be able to get a chance for a title shot as opposed to fighting that kid the way he had to. But Tevin has been risking it these last three fights, and he got robbed in two of them, in my opinion. But that's nor here nor there now. Schofield obviously isn't ready, but he is powerful. He's definitely coming up. I like some of what I see in the kid, but you drop your hands too much. You get hit with the left hand too much. Uh, you really haven't been in the ring with a fighter that has some of your speed, some of your power, and the boxing prowess to deviate what it is you bring to the table that's good. And I watched a fighter whoop on you that they gave you the victory for in that one fight where your daddy had to pick you up off the ground and put you back down in your seat. I watched how that guy beat on you, and a guy his caliber shouldn't have gave you troubles. Uh, but one thing I can't say about not just Golden Boy, but Top Rank, they are masters at matchmaking and putting their fighters in the ring with fighters that they know that they're going to have a good opportunity of winning, regardless to what. So kudos to them. Uh, that's why I'm always careful when I watch promotions by them too, in terms of, yeah, this is a good fighter here, but he's fighting under this banner. And is he prepared for their star fighter? Because they're notorious for making sure their star fighter has all the chips in his side when he's fighting against an opposition. As opposed if we saw it on PBC or Matchroom, where yeah, this guy's the star, but there ain't no flip floppy. They gonna have to go in here and prove it. It's just
hmm
you see it not only in the fight selection, you also see it in the announcers how they help curve the narrative so that we can be impressed by what we're seeing when in reality we've seen it before.
Okay, let me check this comment here.
Definitely.
Have it. You came back and said honestly, and this is in regards to the Mayweather
Okay.
pack. Honestly, a lot of his own people don't even care for him. I respect any man that put in work and got to where he is. I'll look past his, I look past all his money, his everything, but his persona. I mean, he shared the ring with Ricky Hatton. Not once after his death did he say anything kind about him that I ever heard of. But Manny did, so yeah, I stand by what I said. Not a good person.
I'm not positive about this, right? And I'm not definitely in a jousting match with someone. But maybe you need to go back to the interviews of Floyd Mayweather's tour to Britain back in 2000 and I want to say 18. One when Tank was fighting Walsh, and another when he just went on one of his vacations or paycations, he liked to call them. You'll see him speak not only about a plethora of positive British fighters, you'll see him speaking very candid and very, very, very liberal on Ricky Hatton. And I'm not positive, not 100% positive, but didn't Floyd pay for his funeral?
Hmm.
So how would you talk
I'm not
about a
sure.
man? I want to find that out because I'm not 100%. But if I'm right, didn't he pay for his funeral? So I mean, this man has paid for many people's funerals. Uh, I mean, I would just say I would ask you to go research on Floyd Mayweather and the work he's done in Las Vegas. Forget the boxing. We just talking about the man, and ask about what he's done for the homeless in Las Vegas. Ask what he's done about the homeless in Grand Rapids, Michigan, that he does not live there anymore, and what he's done for the city beyond his presence. I mean, he when they're boxing and he's in character and you're hearing him selling a fight, you're going to hear a plethora of nasty comments from both ends. I think if you know anything about British fighters and the crowd in Britain, think we that speaks volumes to what I'm saying. Because Ricky Hatton is not no sailor. He comes from a very keen background where there was a major racist fighter that helped brought him up. His name was Alan Minter. Go find out who Alan Minter is. Another racist fighter who had the dignity and honor of taking a royal ass beating from Marvin Hagler and how the fans treated him after he took that beating, even though he said such racial things before the fight. Um, Ricky Hatton's no saint, but Ricky Hatton was a great fighter and a top 10 greatest British fighter that ever lived. And I think that Floyd Mayweather has an enormous amount of respect for not only Ricky Hatton, but the British fans. And I guess what I'm kind of saying is I reject your deposit, but respectfully.
So, all right, y'all, we're gonna keep moving because we got quite a
Oh,
bit
yeah,
to still talk about. So, we
definitely.
talked about the Frank Sanchez earlier versus Richard Torres Jr. So, let me know y'all predictions in the chat. Who wins? Frank Sanchez versus Richard Torres Jr.
Mm,
Also, let
mm,
us know predictions. Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dynamite Dubois.
mm.
What's your predictions? Let us know. Um, Also, speaking of top rank, Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright rematch. The first fight, Nahir definitely, what I'm saying, gave him his toughest fight. And he has an
Definitely.
awkward style. He just had a draw with my guy Frank Martin.
Yes, he
So
did.
Nahir is he's no pushover.
Not
I
at
think
all.
he will give Keyshawn, and I think he may make adjustments that Keyshawn may not necessarily be, thinking so. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a
Absolutely.
good rematch. Now,
I
Keyshawn said
think
he's gonna
this
stop him,
is,
of course.
yes. I think Keyshawn. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of him. I think he's a talker more than he is a fighter. And again, he's been blessed with great matchmaking. Um, and I hope it changes and they start putting him in there with fighters that can match what he brings to the table or exceed it. So until then, I'm still on the shelf with him because I know three things that he don't bring to the table that will be exploited, and he'll probably be out of boxing once he gets in the ring with someone that just has a couple of things that they need in order to fight him. And until then, with this great matchmaking, we gotta hope and pray that Naeem Albright gives a good fight. uh, I think he will. I think he has to fight 24/8, which means every round, like it's his last, from the game plan to the movement and to keeping that stick in Davis's face. That way, Davis won't be able to sit there, think, and stalk. Uh, Other than that, I see Keyshawn can knock him out. I see Keyshawn could win a unanimous decision, but I also can see Albright winning a unanimous or majority decision as well. Um, I'm not as excited for this fight as I thought it was. I think this fight is going to be underwhelming more than people think because when you put two fighters who have fought each other before and they're not knockout artists, that means you're going to get a chess match in the rematch. Guys who aren't going to let what happened last time happen this time, which means it's going to take 2, 3 rounds for people to figure out each other until we see the explosives start to bomb out. And I think that's where you're going to get that majority or that unanimous decision from one of them. And preferably, if you was to tell me who to pick right now, I would pick Davis, but doesn't necessarily mean that Naeem can't beat him.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna say 50-50. I do edge Keyshawn, but like I said, it ain't gonna be an easy one. I might say 55-45.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight as well. Now we're gonna jump right back over to some heavyweights again because we did talk about
All right.
Fabio Wardley
Oh
and
yeah.
Daniel Dubois. Let's talk about the up and coming UK sensation Moses Ntuma, the one that we kind of like. He, he looks good to our eyes. We still want to see how he keeps
I
navigating
like
through
the way he's
everything.
being brought up. I can't lie. I like the way he's being brought up tremendously. Uh, he's being brought up to be a champion. I like the way they're placing it. I like the way they're promoting him. I like the way that they're feeding him his opponents. They're just not just giving him just straight up tomato cans. They're giving him certain fighters that have a little something he doesn't have, so he'll have something to go in there and work with, even though he's probably going to win anyway. But that just helps to sharpen the knife. And he's 2 years from now, going to be about something. Just stay the course. 2 years from now, a year and a half, he gonna get a shot, or he gonna be mentioned for that next shot. Um, at the end of the day, I have to say this: he's still a British fighter, and we all know that all of them have some form of glass around that chin area. And until proven otherwise, he ain't no Lennox Lewis. The measuring stick of British boxing.
Oh yeah. This is that guy. Well,
Yes,
I guess we're
sir.
gonna see. Time will tell, man.
I like what he's doing.
Everybody's yeah, and he's a
I do.
southpaw. And I like
Yes,
the way he can move. With his size, he can move.
I like what he's doing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to see some. I got a feeling. I know it's gonna happen. I like the way they're bringing him along, and I'm sure they're gonna step the talent up. So, like I said, he's being marketed perfectly. So I'm not surprised with the marketing, and I know he'll probably eventually be getting the type of fight or two that we expect to be something that he's gonna have to fight, and he's probably gonna have a dominant performance. So I think they're bringing him along really well. To be continued.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what their son man does. He definitely has a bright future. Wayne, you said you feel Torres is going to beat Frank Sanchez. Okay, okay.
Mm, mm.
And you said
Uh,
Moses is special. Yeah, definitely is. What do you say about
uh,
that one? Torres beating Sanchez.
I don't see it happening. The only fighters I see that could beat Sanchez is two fighters, and that's Usyk or AJ. And if you ain't AJ or Usyk, and the AJ today, he can't beat Frank. But the AJ maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, yeah, he could beat Frank. But I think Usyk is really right now, maybe AJ are the only two heavyweights that could beat Frank Sanchez. A focused, trained, not having to take long layoff Frank Sanchez. I think he could be the best heavyweight in all of boxing today.
Mm.
I think he knocks.
Now,
I think he. That fight don't make the ninth round, which basically I'm saying Sanchez by eighth or ninth round TKO. Or if it goes a decision, it will be a wide, unanimous decision if it goes there.
yeah, he just he just brought up what I brought up earlier in the conversation. Wayne Smout said Sanchez too many injuries to that knee, and that was my
Yeah,
word. Is that
yeah.
injury? I said if his meniscus or whatever it is injured, if he has a bad knee, that's always been a huge part of his
You need to
and what
get
he
in that
does is
water.
movement. That's what makes him function.
You gotta get in that
That
water.
yeah,
That's the best rehabilitation from the waist down is that water. If he's doing that, and his style is moving too. Sometimes he's not just a stand there type of fighter. He's got boxing skills.
right.
Um,
And
but
that's
that
what can
knee,
hurt him is if his knee ain't right. That could be a big that'd be a
yeah,
big factor because he has to try to switch up his style. His style is the fact he can move. That's what makes
yeah.
him special.
I tell you, I really wish that he didn't have that holding him back because that's what kind of keeps me from giving just saying he's the best because I know he has a flaw that could come back to bite him. But if he's
Right.
healthy, I don't see nobody beating him. But like I said, AJ or Usyk, he's that good. But injuries
Yes.
have,
He is.
yeah,
Yeah. That's kind of like back in the day when David Hay, he was a good fighter, but when he started having injuries and all that stuff, it's like Tony
that's a
Bellew got
good.
off on him. And you know, a healthy Hay would have destroyed Bellew.
But
And
Bellman,
Bellew ain't no
Bell
terrible fighter. But,
No, but Belwin made a career off of beating Hay, but he knew Hay wasn't the same fighter. He knew he was hurt, and he beat him
yeah.
acting like he did something. When we all know, if he was healthy, you would be in bedrock.
Yes. Yes. David Hay would have. Woo wee.
He would have
Yeah.
did it
It would
pretty too. It would have been pretty, so pretty. But Dave ate that.
have.
Dave made his money. Dave actually did everything he was supposed to do. What was he? A cruiserweight
Mhm.
champion, almost a
Yeah,
unified
yeah, man.
cruiserweight champion, and he won a heavyweight title. I don't think he ever went light heavyweight before.
Not to
But
my
yeah,
knowledge,
Dave
Wayne
was.
Smout would definitely know.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, he. David Hay was a damn good fighter. I liked him. It's a lot of great fighters. Before Lennox was around, I didn't like this dude, but I went back in the late '90s and watched over his career so I could really, really get my claws in on how great he was. And for me, the greatest British fighter I ever saw was Chris Eubanks Sr. You talking about a guy that
Mm,
was mentally and physically complete. And people gotta understand he was undefeated until late in his career.
true.
You know,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
lost at light heavyweight if I'm right, trying to fight or was it trying to fight somebody for a light heavyweight title or something? One of them British guys that beat on
I
him.
forget.
I think it was Calzaghe. So maybe it was a super
Wayne
middleweight.
Smout.
Maybe I think it might have been Calzaghe or somebody that beat him late. Chris was
Yeah.
a
'Cause
complete
I remember
guy.
he had the two fights with Nigel Benn. Them wars
Oh
is
yeah,
crazy.
Nigel.
No, the wars he
I
had.
mean, that first fight was
Man.
just magnificent. I was watching that fight like three,
Mm,
4 weeks
mm.
ago. It was yeah, the way he whooped on him and he already had him beat before the fight was over, technically, in certain small essences in that first one. You okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
think it bounced back
Yeah,
in for a
he
second.
can whip you with this before he even gets in the ring. I love the calm, cerebral assassin he is. He really gets under people's skin and he does it with respect.
Uh-huh.
I'll be like, man, he just yeah, you seen the Four Kings of Britain, right? Have y'all watched that documentary? I don't know if any of
I
y'all have
I knew
experienced.
it was out, but I haven't seen it yet.
My hey man, it's a masterpiece. When you watch it, you're gonna watch it three, four, five different times. I mean, I'm so glad they put it together. It's long overdue, long overdue, and they got it right. They got it right. I mean, me personally, I don't think Frank Bruno should have been on there as a fourth king or third king, but in terms of popularity and draw, I get it because Frank was
Right,
super duper popular. He
right.
he was for me. He was the
His
last.
mannerism, his attitude, yeah,
He was
yeah.
the
He was that.
last
Yeah.
big British fighter. I remember the '80s Frank Bruno before the Mike Tyson fight when he was coming up. He was very very popular. So uh, being a British Commonwealth champion was a big deal back in the middle and early '80s. Before because they didn't all get world titles shots. And for him to have gotten it with Mike Tyson was, and the way Frank looked like like a statue. Uh,
Adonis, yeah,
yeah, he did.
yeah,
He just
yeah.
he just didn't have the skills to match the way he looked. And
Hmm.
yeah, because I always thought that I believe Nigel is in the top four. I think Chris is number one, but I understand why people put Lennox over Chris. So we could say Lennox, Chris, Nigel. Some people keep trying to say Joe Calzaghe is a British fighter, but I thought he was from Wales.
Uh, Wayne would definitely know, and Wayne said Eubank lost to Carl Thompson.
Okay, it was Carl Thompson. That was light heavyweight then, if I'm right. Because
Yeah, he said,
Chris Chris was winning when you thought he should lose. He was doing it and it wasn't being respected. Because of his act. People didn't
mhm.
like him. People
Yeah,
just didn't
going
like
against
him.
that Coffee style. Yeah, that, yeah,
People didn't like
yeah.
him, but he was the best, man. It was like no matter what y'all talk about, when the fight's over with, his hand will be right. I loved him, man. And he worked hard. He never cheated the sport. Didn't drink. Well, he did smoke. He's Jamaican. I mean, he didn't do drugs. When all those other guys was out doing what they was doing, the Brunos, the Bens, and them, he was straight lace. And I didn't appreciate back then in the late '80s and early '90s when I used to watch him. I always appreciated a fighter that stayed working hard and keeping his body together, especially as you get older. But to really grasp into what his greatness was, yeah. He's not even in the Hall of Fame yet, but Nigel just made it this year. And congratulations to Nigel Ben for being a Hall of Famer. But I think it's time for Chris to get that too, because he did beat Chris twice. I mean, Chris did beat him twice, whether we felt like he shouldn't on that second one because I thought that draw was perfectly called. Well, some people,
Hmm.
it wasn't no dominant performance like people think it was.
Wayne Smile, you said Wales is a part of Britain. Oh, okay, so
Okay,
like
Wells
Wales,
is
and what's the other area over there? Manchester. That's a little way. That's about 100 miles out.
okay.
Manchester's
I
that's
thought
UK, I guess.
I thought Wales was near Scotland because that's an island.
Uh,
Ain't Wales an island? I'm just asking.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. He would know. Wayne, you would know. Now, Wayne, is Manchester part of UK as well, or what you
Manchester,
consider
England.
the United Kingdom?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manchester, England is a part of Britain, but I'm thinking
Okay.
Wales is an island. Northeast or southeast of England, but don't quote me on that. I thought it was next to Scotland. I thought anyway, but it could be. I just never thought of Joe Calzaghe as a British fighter. That's all I'm saying.
Right. 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 Um. All right, man. We still cooking up now. We're gonna stick on because we talked about AJ.
Yeah.
is I think this AJ is going to be something special because he's been working in training camp with Usyk, and I
Mm.
think the main thing Usyk can bring to AJ, if nothing else, well, the main two things he can do for AJ, he will help him with his conditioning as far as not getting gassed in the later rounds because all that muscle mass. I think he's going to probably want him to lose a little bit of that bulk, and he will have him swimming a lot, swimming and doing a lot of cardio exercises.
I pray that that to me, that's the number one thing that he needs to do, and all that other stuff is just gonna take care of itself. He's not gonna
Yep,
change. You're not gonna teach that old dog no new tricks. But what you
new tricks,
can
right?
do is you can get
Yep.
his body and condition and endurance at tip top order. And just what you said was perfect, Bean. Get in that pool, stay in that pool because you just came from a car injury too. Your bones are healing. He just deal with the cardio and endurance, and AJ gonna be fine, man. I personally think the mass is there, the structure's there. Loosen up them bones, regurgitate
Mhm.
that body with healing with that water. And who is he supposed to be fighting next? Because potentially
Uh, a
Wilder.
guy, a guy named Christian Pringa.
That's a tune-up.
I'm,
Nice little tune-up for
let
him. Something to
me go
make
to
him
this
look
little
good.
exactly. Let me go to this box right just so we can put a little context to it. Because he only fought like one name I knew of, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy right here is definitely a tune-up. But it sounds good from the aspect that this guy Christian Pringa, I think only had like one loss, but then
Hmm.
he has like something crazy like, okay, he has 20 wins. This is funny though. 20 wins, 20 by knockout. But the name, I literally know one person on this whole list. And it was way back in, wow, how far back was it? Okay. Yeah, there's one person. Oh, Joey DeWaco back in 2024.
Okay.
Besides Joey DeWaco, he's fought nobody that I even know these names. Like, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, he's been knocking out. We're gonna keep it real. He's been knocking out cab drivers. So, but he has power.
he said he said knocking out cab drivers.
Uber drivers or whatever, man. So,
Yeah.
hey, I mean, I guess it's a good tune up for AJ, and just,
He
I mean, but it's
deserves it.
perfect for him. Yeah, he deserves it because of the accident, and
Right.
then you with a new training squad, so you want to learn, see how you flow with your new style. Like you try a couple of new things you learn from music. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And who better than on a guy that's game to fight you, but all in all, he's probably not going to defeat you. And
Right.
and then you add in the totality, like we said, that car accident. He deserves that. Get that back. Let's see what the body's reacting, et cetera, et cetera. And then go on ahead and fight Wilder or whoever else you may have up your sleeve. Don't be surprised if AJ wants to fight Triple D again. That's still another fight out there.
I
Might want
think
some
he's gonna have to
revenge
go
with
back.
that. Yeah, he might want
Yep.
some get back with that. It's a
Oh
lot out there
man.
for them. AJ has about 5, 6 different fights he can choose. Like I said, Wilder has three. It's gonna only be those three, or he
Mm-hmm.
ain't gonna see him fight no more. Trust me on that. He's gonna be Miller, AJ, or Usyk. So whenever that
Yeah.
happens. And he better get in the ring this year too. I don't think he should be waiting the next year to fight. He should have that fight scheduled by November.
And if I had to say it, and this is my opinion, my way, you can tell me yours, but I would say AJ should go. He's got this warm up.
Right
Go
on.
straight into Fury because you know
Mhm.
you've been wanting Fury for longer. Fight Fury after that, then fight Wilder number three, and then fight Dubois rematch number four.
That sounds like a
That's
lovely.
a four-fight run.
That sounds lovely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
AJ goes straight into who you say first? Fury.
The warm up was
Yeah,
yep
yeah.
after this warm up. Yeah,
Well,
Fury.
that's what's going to happen with AJ too. It's either going to be Fury next or it's going to be Wilder. So which one's going to
Yeah,
negotiate? Which one's going to be honest? Which one's going to really want to fight? And that's who it's going to be next. And we know Usyk is done with Fury, so that fight's never going to happen again. But
right.
AJ's got it's the AJ Usyk Wilder swirl, and whoever don't pick who
Mm-hmm.
is probably going to get Wardell or Triple D, or you know what I mean it's
Be the winner. And yeah, we got yeah, because whoever wins that fight is a WBO champ. So right now, Wardley is WBO. So if he retains his belt, or even if he loses his belt over to Dubois, somebody's gonna want that strap. So that
well
lines up AJ and Fury and them right back in the race.
well
AJ
don't
and
be
Fury fight for the win of those.
if AJ fights Fury next, don't be surprised if Wardell beats Triple D if he fights Wilder after that.
Mm.
Because hey, he
Mm-hmm.
was at the fight. He was saying at the
Yeah.
fight that, hey man, hey, I'm interested in fighting Wilder, but I right
Yeah.
now have to take this guy out, and then we can see if he wants me, we
Mm-hmm.
can fight. So it's all kind of circling around to
All of that.
an
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah. It's gonna be man.
It's gonna be definitely some nice fireworks. Tell me, what do you think of Turkey leaving boxing?
Um, I think it was when Turkey came. I think it was only for a temporary stay anyway. I don't think it was for a long term thing.
Yeah,
I think it was just for like a few seasons or whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
Few seasons of being here,
Seasons, I
and
like
then
that. Rider, it was the Rider
yeah,
season.
yeah. So I just think that eventually once he's gone, but I think the good part of it, the fact that he was there just for that period of time, it kind of opened up people's eyes to see that we need to stop the small beef, like the Frank Warren not liking Eddie Hearn, Eddie Hearn not liking Frank Warren. Now y'all can see that hey, money is green. We can all eat out here, but we need to stop bickering and beefing over our egos, having an ego that I'm this and that.
Well,
Sit down at the table and hash it out.
I'm glad you said that because we're like what David Benavidez said before the fight. We got to stop lying on PBC and acting like they don't want to make fights when you see Golden Boys on this fight list. Just 2 years ago, one of the biggest fight in all of boxing, it was a Golden Boy versus PBC with the Ryan Garcia versus Tank Davis. So this notion that fighters here don't want to fight, Al made me didn't have a problem with me going over there to Turkey and fighting those fighters so I could try to get the Bivol fight or Canelo fight. And I didn't get him, but he didn't turn his back on the situation. So we got to stop acting like it's one-sided and this is just one organization preventing all these organizations from coming together and putting on big fights when we know it's not like that. And we also know Oscar De La Hoya has a certain strategy that he always has upholded throughout his career as a promoter, and he controls the fights. So where PBC don't control their fighters' fights, they don't have promoters. No matter what lies or hate or love y'all have for him, you have Al Heyman is an advisor, and he makes sure his fighters own their own publishing of their likeness and their own promotion, and they select their fights and he facilitates them with Sam, with Tom, with Steven, and etc., and a plethora of others. And this is just simplistic boxing that every organization does, but we want to act like we remember it when we love this organization, and we want to forget it and hate when we don't like this one. And we have to stop that. We have to remember the facts of why organizations have certain fighters. Haven't anybody ever noticed why top ranked most of their fighters are WBO champions? Hmm? No one wants to talk about that throughout their careers, and no one talks about that. Or let's be fair, PBC has a boatload of WBA champions. No one talks about that. Uh, Oscar De La Hoya, we all know who he's going to try to make sure he has always on his back, the WBC. So we
Facts.
understand this
Mhm.
stuff, but we don't understand it when I don't like you or if I do like you. And we just have to keep it impartial, fair, and down the line with the facts. Because when we do that, we'll understand why certain fights aren't happening, or we'll know where to truly point the finger at when a fight doesn't happen. That's all.
Mhm.
It
Yeah, man.
eliminates it cuts the fat off the meat, so we'll eliminate the persuasion of pointing the finger at certain things that may not necessarily deserve to have that, you know.
Mm. Yeah, for sure. Well, man, we done had it down for about 2 hours, and I could typically go a little longer, but my phone says otherwise. The battery.
Hey, I
So
enjoy it.
we're gonna get ready to close down this segment. But I'm gonna read these last three comments right before
Hmm.
we get up out of here.
Let's do it.
Uh, Havoc. You said I never liked Joe Kawasaki. Boring fighting style to watch. When you watched a Hatton fight, you were alive.
I agree about that somewhat. Joe's
I agree with
style
that
was a
too.
little fleeting, but one thing I will say is there's was fights where I saw average fighters because he didn't fight mediocre fighters. He fought average fighters, not great ones, but not bums. But I've seen average fighters like a Robin Reed, a couple other fighters give him tough fights and watched how he deviated and came back and dominated. You know, a lot of people who remember Joe's coming out party, they remember his fight against Jeff Lacey, you know. But yeah, I get it, you know. To me, his best fight to me was that I liked it is I liked the way he whooped on Bernard Hopkins. That was a beautiful fight to me. That was his coming out. But of course, we all know Bernard was near 40, so I don't know how much I could take that for face value. You fought
Right.
Roy and Bernard in their 40s. Take nothing away from it. You beat him, but I don't think, you know, hey, you beat him. That's what counts. Let's just, yeah, we gotta be straight up. You beat him. We know how you beat him.
For sure, man.
Hey, Wayne said the Fury fight is already signed, so
Big
that means
time.
him and
That's what's up.
AJ. Oh, then there you go. There's Wardell versus Wilder next. There it is. Then
Yep.
unless,
Yep.
yeah, unless Wilder's
Yeah,
fighting
yeah,
you,
yeah.
or
Unless Dubois wins. If Dubois wins, then it might be Wilder Dubois. That's
well,
another banger.
I actually
Either way,
have
it's gonna be
I have Dubois winning. I have
yeah,
Dubois winning. So
yeah,
that sounds like a definite a good situation.
yeah, man, for
Definitely.
sure. And the last comment, Big. Sorry for pronouncing your name wrong. Big Moda. You said I missed some other show. What do y'all think is next for David Benavidez?
I definitely think Bivol is the only thing on David's mind, but David has opened the door where he got four different exits that he can go from to do his
Hmm.
boxing. And part of it, David, you don't want him with Bivol, he'll take better beef. You don't want better beef,
Yep.
I'll take Canelo. Y'all don't want that, I'll stay right where I'm at here at 200 pounds and fight one of the next champions. That I mean, it's going to look bad
Yeah.
for him if he's got to have difficulty fighting someone next. It's going to look bad for all parties involved except for him. Someone's got to
Fact.
step up now. I mean, Canelo probably ain't going to be that one. I think it's probably going to be better be, but if I'm Bivol, there's no way I fight this next fight and don't fight David afterwards. There's just no way. If you fight anyone other than David after this, I think it's pretty clear what it is. So I think we need to get ready for. I preferably I want Benavidez versus Bivol. That way there'll be no more room for Canelo to draw. He can just retire after that fight because after that fight, I don't think you need to keep fighting because Davis beating everybody that you've had a fight with. You
For
know,
sure, man.
Better Beef. I
Yeah.
think he wants to end it on a positive note. Probably want a lesser fight. But then again, what do I know? The money talk, everything else go away.
Facts, 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 man. Big facts. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and conclude this one, man. We had a good sit down. We'll have to do this again in the future. For
Definitely.
sure, we'll do it again in the future.
Definitely.
Um, so everybody, next Sunday, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
Hmm.
here at Ring Walk Boxing Podcast.
Hey, I might be on another island, who knows? But you know, if you need me, I'm here. You already know. Uh, it's been a pleasure, and
Oh, for sure, for
definitely
sure.
always wide open and available for you, being whenever you need me. You know, you know.
Yeah, appreciate it, man, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, have a good one.
Oh man, nothing but blessings to y'all. Hey, y'all continue to support boxing, continue to stand up for boxing, and continue to shine a light on boxing. Y'all have a blessed evening.
All right, y'all. That will conclude tonight's uh, episode of Ring Walk Boxing Podcast. Y'all be safe, and I will catch you all on the next round.
Yes, sir. Check.
Peace.